All right, click the links for the alternative platforms. Join the Discord. Go to BitChute, Odysee, Gab, or support channel through crypto or more conventional means. So why do they want to take your guns? Because they're going to do something to you that you would shoot them for. The point of the Second Amendment is not to hunt, not to stop self-defense, violent crime sort of thing. It's to kill tyrants. The point of the Second Amendment is you should be as armed as well as your military is armed, in case there ever comes a time when you need to kill the tyrants that are oppressing you. The tree of liberty needs to be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. Second Amendment is made defeating tyranny by killing the tyrants. Stop soft-pedaling it and don't get confused by thinking, it's self-defense. You don't need a 30-round mag to hunt. 30-round mags are for hunting and killing tyrants. And that kind of talk makes people a little bit nervous now. I think it would definitely get you kicked off YouTube. And I might even have the FBI knock on your door. Quoting the Founding Fathers, we'll have the FBI knocking on your door. It's an interesting case, but it's not the point of these legal cases. The point is to tie you up in court for 5 to 10 years and just take you off the equation. Anyway, that's the point of the Second Amendment. The more people say it and get comfortable saying it and get comfortable admitting out loud the point of, how are you going to fight a drone? Is a drone planning on bombing a neighborhood? Is that what you think they're gonna blow up the infrastructure? Laughs in Vietnamese. They managed to do pretty well with 7.62s, a bag of rice, and hiding in the trees. And when you take everything away from somebody, I think you're going to find out that there's a core in America, the core spirit of the Englishman, the German, the Polish, and the Irish who are still here in shrunken numbers, but they still have that core of people who are willing to cross an ocean to find a better way of life, and now that life has been taken away. It's like, well, what do they have to lose? Like, you're really going to hide in a tree with a 308 and a bag of rice? What do you have to lose? Of course, I'm not advocating imminent illegal conduct or any violent acts. I'm just saying in the event where you need to defeat tyranny, you need to do as the Founding Fathers intended. Knock on the door. Oh, no, the FBI doesn't knock on the door. They just burn your house down. They just burn you alive with everyone in it. Oh, my God, that's crazy talk. Freedom, what will you do with all that freedom? Just give up a little bit of liberty and you'll be safe. Just give up a little bit more liberty. Yeah, it worked out well for the Chinese, the Russians, a lot of Central Americans, Southeast Asians, Cubans, North Koreans. Yeah, it worked out well. It turns out, no, you're better off with your own rifles and militias keeping everyone in check. The government is best when they fear the populace. And the only way they can fear the populace is if they've got 30, 40 round mags, if they've got the same gear that the police state has, which you're not going to fight a war. You're not going to kill tyrants with a 10-round magazine or ejection lock buttons for California. That's not the way to kill tyrants. The Second Amendment is to kill tyrants. And the fact that we're even this far along in California, and New York, and New Jersey, where gun laws are restricted, it's like those people should have figuratively been tarred and feathered. Anyone who advances these laws, these filthy parasitical degenerates, they want to take the guns away because they're going to do horrible things to you. They've already taken those rights away in California and on the East Coast. You have the right to keep and bear arms. Shall not be infringed. The federal law is supreme law of the land, supremacy clause. California now says no. Since 2011, you can no longer openly bear arms. Which, on the face of it, violates the Constitution. You can have your arms within the curtilage of your home or when you're transporting them somewhere to shoot. Well, the Second Amendment doesn't say that. It says keep and bear arms. And even there's plethora of writings of the Founding Fathers talking about having sufficient arms and ammunition in case you need to be called up to kill tyrants. We've already come... your ancestors would have been shooting by now. People hear that, and I did the same thing. I just kind of heard that and kind of shook it off. Things are okay. Things are okay. It's you've got a car and you've got money and there's food and what Americans worried about. They're worried about sports ball and obesity. It's hard to make fat people realize that their grandchildren will be starving. Okay, so what they're going to do with this is, which many of us have been saying all along is if you give up a little liberty for the appearance of safety, they're going to create, if they can take liberty during emergencies, then they will just create emergencies to take liberty. So, like, literally people who were saying this a year ago, they're saying, well, the CDC is just going to declare the Second Amendment a health issue, which thing is, the Second Amendment, you're going to have a hard time coming up against the Second Amendment, but things that shouldn't have happened have happened. Like I said, California's got 10-round restrictions. I think New York, New Jersey got 9-round restrictions. Those are unconstitutional on the face of it, and those happened years ago. It's shocking that we just let it go. It's like, well, we've got TV and we've got fast food, and we're not really gonna, no one's gonna actually form a militia. Nobody thought it would get this bad this fast, and like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to look a little bit into the future and say, if they've already taken the rights this far. So, like, what does California and New Jersey, New York look like? You can't open carry and you can't conceal carry. It's a felony. So if you're a law-abiding citizen, you try to conceal carry to self-defense, it's a felony. Your constitutional right is now a felony because the state has overruled the Constitution. It's like, well, that's also, again, not constitutional. It doesn't matter. We've already come so far. So what it works out to be is like, so who carries guns in California and the East Coast? Oh, criminals carry guns because they don't give a shit about going to prison. Go to prison for a few years and get out. It's like, so they're still felons in possession. So you're saying the only people in California carrying guns are the state, who, please miss me with that thin blue line bullshit, and the felons, the gangsters who are robbing, raping, and killing at the drop of a hat. Yeah, they're armed, but you're not allowed to defend yourself. That should have people forming militias. Now, forming militias in California is an interesting thought because, again, you can't openly carry in California. The cops, the SWAT, FBI will just, not the FBI, the SWAT teams will just come and murder you. There's no thin blue line if the police are willing to violate the Constitution on the daily, and they are. They absolutely are. You can forget, just burn those thin blue line flags. So in California, if you want to form militias, the way to do it now is just, have little jogging clubs, exercise clubs, just go meet up, talk, jog, leave the guns at home. This is not the time for that. If the militia gets big enough, then, you could change the law legally. Anyway, so what she's gonna try to do, yes, she holds Israeli dual citizenship, which is a weird thing to have somebody in power who can literally destroy one country and simply move to Israel because she's a full citizen of Israel. And nobody ever says boo about that. No, oh my God, that's so interesting. How is stating facts istophobic? You can miss me with that. You can just have, you can call somebody istophobic all day long. It's like, just sidestep the argument. Go, okay, well, maybe so, maybe not, but it still doesn't undercut the argument. You're kind of you're going a step below the crux of the argument to say, like, how do you hold somebody accountable who has dual citizenship? That's terrifying. And nobody says a freaking word about it. So, she's the eviction moratorium chick. The thing is, the eviction moratorium, life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. The thing is, the Second Amendment is pretty well written into the Constitution. But like I said, it's like, California, you should be able to conceal carry without a permit. You should be able to buy a gun without a permit. You should be able to, a 10-day waiting period. There should be a 10-day waiting period to buy a gun. All these laws are infringements. All of these laws are infringements. We've already come so freaking far down this slippery slope. And people say, oh, well, if you try to take the guns, we'll go out shooting. One person is not going to fight a dozen guys who show up at SWAT team. They're just going to come and take your guns, and you're not going to say shit. The only thing that stops tyranny is militias. You absolutely have to form militias. If you've got a neighborhood and you've got 1,000 people in your local militia, then tyrants who are violating the Constitution will think twice if they know that they're coming up against 1,000 patriots with 223s, 308s, and shotguns who are saying, yeah, we've gone far enough, we need to start rolling these laws back. If you try to fight the state one-on-one, you will absolutely lose. They will come to your house, they will kill you and your family, they'll burn your house down, they'll probably just blow your house up with a drone. That's just the militarized police state we live in right now. The only way to stop tyranny, unconstitutional tyranny, is by forming armed legal militias. It's your Second Amendment right. They will take that away. They will absolutely take these rights. Oh, we're just going to temporarily suspend it. All these restrictions in the past 40 years on gun rights have been unconstitutional laws, and we just sat and taken it because we're fat and stupid on bread and circuses. Myself included. I didn't realize how important this stuff was. I just didn't know what I didn't know. Now I know, and now I see these people, these demons, who don't give a shit about the First, the Second, the Fourth, the Fifth, the Sixth, the Eighth Amendment. They don't, or the 10th Amendment, state police powers. They don't give two shits about those. Maybe even the, like, what is the quartering soldiers? Is that the Third Amendment? There's all those, like, forgotten amendments. It's like the Third, the Seventh, and the Ninth Amendment. Nobody talks about those hidden amendments. Anyway, for militias, immediately, militias take time to sniff each other out, to form hierarchies, to figure out rules of engagement. Again, I'm not advocating illegal activities. These are constitutionally protected activities that if you do not start finding your in-group preference and standing up for yourself and your tribe, these demon parasite monsters will take everything away from you and destroy your future, as they've already done. Like, demographics are what they are. The only way to take things back is by taking them back, and it's going to take a couple, I know it's going to take, you're going to have to sweat a little bit. Tighten the belt, perhaps. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Oh, is that the FBI at the door? And I will see you guys next episode.